The F1 rear wing generates not only massive downforce but also an agreeable amount of drag. It usually consists of plates or fins. The rear wing in modern F1 cars contributes up to 20% of the total downforce. This downforce helps to stabilize the car and ensure the car's rear end doesn't skid on turn. And talk about the look, the rear wing in F1 car obviously generates how the cars look. If the rear wing looks odious, the car will also look the same way. And in this video, we'll see 20 odd looking rear wings. For the starter, we have a Senna Toleman. Toleman had a distinctive double rear end in Monaco 1984. The look might seem hideous and unpleasant, but the result somehow paid off with Senna taking second place in this race. How about that? Ferrari 126 C2. In 1982, Ferrari had installed a double rear wing on its car, putting them side by side where one wing is slightly forward than the others. This move was architects' remarks upon the regulation. However, they still managed to win the Constructors' Championship. McLaren M9A. Rather than usual type of rear wing, McLaren made theirs longer but a little bit narrower than most used in Formula 1. They called it the T-tray rear wing, as the shape is undoubtedly similar, but once it was tested, the car went straight back to the factory and never raced again. Lotus 49. Rear wing development started in the middle of the 60s era. Without a sophisticated and high-tech wind tunnels, engineers found out they needed downforce to help the car turn through the corner faster. As the team usually installed a very high rear wing, Colin Chapman of Lotus decided to install a much simpler wing on his Lotus 49 at the 1968 Monaco Grand Prix, which looked like a flat surfboard attached to the rear. In 1975, March installed an extended rear end plate called the skirting board. That skirting board looks really similar to a hill climb car. Despite that bizarre appearance, the car did win the 1975 Austrian GP with the Vittoria Brambilla behind its wheel. BIR Honda. In an attempt to break the speed record, BIR Honda designed a single end plate for the car. To make it virtually didn't have any wing. The team used the wing to eliminate any drag force, which helped the car to reach its maximum speed. It only used in Bonneville 4000s to break the speed record. Williams 2070 Precision Testing. During the 2070 Precision Testing, Williams tested a radical yet innovative rear wing design. It was called the double-decker. As cool as it looks, the design was not in compliance with the regulation. Although, during an official organized test, teams are allowed to run specifications outside of the regulation. It was rumored the wing was designed to help the team develop the chassis and to understand how far the car would handle greater downforce load. Anyway, I really missed when Williams was actually frontrunner. Williams FW34. Let's forget about the Red Bull flexi-wing drama for a while. Back in 2012, several teams had installed a literally bended rear wing. One of the best examples is the Williams FW34, with its bendy rear wing and in search of the minimum drag effect. However, this setup could only be used on track with low downforce such as Canada. The GR-GS21. During the 80s era, there were many teams that experiment with the different types of the rear wing, and one of the most popular one is the double rear wing configuration. The GR was one of the teams that installed the double rear wing in 1983, similar to Toleman's. They put two similar looking rear wings on the same height on in front of the others, and the front was longer in size. Ferrari. The split rear wing or the double rear wing was a thing in the early 2000s. Teams like Ferrari and Sauber ran a private test to research the effect of this new design. The wing design was actually introduced by FIA as they believed it could reduce drag and improve overtaking on the cars. Nevertheless, the wing only ended up in a prototype and never reached a single race. Lotus 94T. The improved version of Lotus 94T used a 4-stack rear wing, which fans called the chip cutter or the bookshelf wing. Was only built in 6 weeks after the team suffered a lack of performance of the previous car. The wing debuted in 1983 Dutch GP, in which Nigel Mansell and Elio De Angelis scored some points for the team. Benetton B193. The double-decker rear wing was an extreme mode from the high downforce setting. used 3 fan end plates with one in the front and the 2 almost vertical wings on the back. These wings can only be applied on tracks with high downforce setups such as Dennington or Henry. Lotus 76. If many teams use the double-decker wing by stacking another wing on the top of the others, Lotus 76 did the exact opposite. The so-called biplane or twin rear wing had a double configuration by adding another wing below their main rear wing. The purpose of the design is to increase rear downforce and stability of the car, but it was quite unfamiliar approach. Toleman 183. Toleman 183 was debuted in the last 2 races in 1982, using a twin rear wing configuration that was kept for 1983 and during the beginning of the 1984 seasons. This car was used for Ayrton Senna Grand Prix debut in 1984. Visually, the rear wings look almost incomparable. However, the size of the back rear was a bit shorter than the front with more depth than the front plank rear wing. Williams FW15C. Williams FW15C also installed a double-decker rear wing for high downforce mode. The design is popular in 1993 season on several races on tracks that required high downforce. Ferrari F138. In the 2013 season, Ferrari started the season with a very innovative fan, rear wing end plates, combined with the blade-shaped elements created to extract air from the inside of the in-plate zone to improve efficiency on both diffuser and the wing itself. Honestly, it didn't look too odd, but still worthy to join in this list. Ferrari 312B. This design is believed as the first shark fin in the Formula 1. The fin is a tiny flap that splits the rear wing. Compared to the other rear wings at the time, it looked unusual, but the car itself is one of the title contenders as they finished second in the championship in the 1970 season. Ferrari 312B2. The Ferrari 312B has several designs, and this car won 2 races in 1971, debuted in the Monaco GP 3 months after being launched. Its rear wing was attached to an appendage of the roll bar and has a slightly low slope wing compared to normal plank rear wing. Brabham BT26. In early development of the rear wing, the team usually just attached the plate as high as possible and create the skyscraper look. The skyscraper wings on the Brabham BT26 were attached on both the nose and the rear side of the car, matching the idea of the first ever airplane. The team decided to give more downforce to the car, however it was banned because of safety concerns. Tyrrell 012. In 1983, Tyrrell bent their rear wing into the boomerang-like shape, creating more surface to generate more downforce, after finding a loophole within the regulation to make the rear wing longer but not exceeding the rules. But the wing didn't make it in the single race. Honestly, it's really cool and aggressive even though seems unfamiliar. McLaren MP4 25. The F-duct rear wing on the McLaren was introduced in the 2010 Formula 1 season. McLaren used the stalling system, installing an air vent in the front of the car that could be covered by the driver's leg to redirect airflow to the rear wings, which allowed to flap the stall and minimizing drag and increasing their maximum speed. Thank you for watching my videos. If you find this interesting, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please consider to support us on our Patreon page and or maybe buy some merch at our Redbubble store. You can also drop a comment down below. And once again, thank you for watching. Until next time.